dikit. Mana?
Now then, it's a good job I don't like sleeping it. I arrived in Shymkent about 7 o'clock in the morning, decided that, you know what, seeing as I'm out and about this early, I might as well use the time, and so I've gone a further 2 hours by marshrutka, by minibus, to a place called Turkistan, and I'll show you why soon. Just for a bit of perspective, if you look at me on a map, I'm currently 500 miles south of Astana, Nur Sultan, and 300 miles west of Almaty, so we're getting about a bit. It's only day 4. Easy, mate. What is it? Is it a ferret? And this behind me is what we travelled for. That incredible structure is the mausoleum of a guy named Khoja Ahmed Yassawi, and that is the single most important religious and historical structure in all of Kazakhstan. I think I've got myself another souvenir, boys. Don't know what this is. It's pretty colourful though. Khoja Ahmed Yassawi was an incredibly influential and highly regarded person in the world of Islam. He was a Sufi and a poet. He used to spread the word really effectively, actually, by singing to people, saying nice poems, and that kind of thing. That's what made him such a followable person. And he lived and died here in Turkestan, and when he died in 1366, this was built on top of his burial spot. Turkestan was already a really important city before Yassawi. It was a stop on the Silk Road, for example, but the fact that he lived here, taught here, spread the word of Islam, and became such an important figure even worldwide for the religion, and then later died here, just increased the importance of this city exponentially. And it was later believed that if you made 3 pilgrimages here, that was equal to making 1 pilgrimage to Mecca. And as we know, that's the single most important thing in the world of Islam, so it's a pretty big deal. Interestingly, none of his work was ever actually written down until centuries after he died, but he was still credited with vital mystical works like one called the Book of Wisdom, and revered as a saint, and that's why so many people from Central Asia come here to have a look, pay their respects. On the subject of things not being written down, did you know that the Kazakh language, which is pretty much just a mix between Russian and Arabic, wasn't actually written down anywhere until the 1860s? It's that recent. It's mad, isn't it? Anyway, let's go inside and have a look. The inside is absolutely nothing like I anticipated it would be. It's really like plain. And if we go down here, this is where his body is. Yeah, the inside was nothing like I expected at all. It looked like no one had coloured it in yet. I think it was left unfinished. I think the famous conqueror Timur, who built it in the first place, died before it was finished, and so they ran out of money and it wasn't quite done. But yeah, the outside is far more impressive than the inside. It's not just the mausoleum they've got here, it's like a whole complex of loads of other old stuff. I think this would have made up basically the city centre of the ancient city of Turkestan. The city itself is about 1,600 years old, I think. So let's go and have a look at some of the other stuff. This is the famous underground mosque. That was kind of weird. As you saw, there was a picture of people in that underground mosque. I don't know how much you know about Islam or mosques, but normally you would never ever see a picture of anybody in any mosque because of a couple of reasons. The Islamic belief that you're not allowed to like pray in a place where there are pictures of people, and I think also because if you draw somebody and Allah made humans in his image, then you're trying to draw Allah, and that's also prohibited in Islam. But there was a picture of people in that one. It's weird. Anyway, now taking a stroll around, I believe the restored version of what would have been the old city walls. Gives us a pretty nice view over some of the complex. This one is the Rabia Sultan Begum Mausoleum. I don't know who or what that is or why, because the English version of the signs just keep saying a monument of national importance, so it's not very useful. Kazakhstan is spoiling me. Yet another example of wonderful religious architecture. Oh. Fascinating mix of cultures, Kazakhstan. As a probably quite ignorant Westerner, it's really intriguing to me to see Central Asian people who speak Russian and also practice Islam. They're kind of like three things that I never really thought would ever come together, and here they are as one brilliant cocktail. Interesting place. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that little insight into some of Kazakhstan's ancient-ish history and a look around one of their only 5 UNESCO World Heritage Sites. And so we're now back in Shymkent, having a leisurely stroll around Abai Park. You'll find reference to that guy Abai pretty much everywhere in Kazakhstan. He was a poet, composer and a philosopher, and I think he's pretty much regarded as the first person from Kazakhstan to ever gain any kind of recognition for his people. As for Shymkent, the city, there doesn't seem like an awful lot to be doing. I think it serves as more of a crossroads. It always has, again with the Silk Road. But nowadays it's so close to the border with the neighbouring country, Uzbekistan, that it's kind of a go-between place when you're moving from Uzbekistan to go to places like Almaty and Astana. The opposite way that we've done it, and I think tomorrow I am going to use Shymkent for its services as being close to the Uzbekistan border. I think I'm going to be leaving Kazakhstan tomorrow. And so for now, rather than run around chasing sights and taking pictures, I'm just going to go for a pleasant stroll through the park and recap my wonderful time in Kazakhstan. Oh, well, it turns out they've got a massive plane in Abai Park, and this is what looks like a huge World War II memorial thing. And do you want to see something that really puts the war into perspective? This is a list of names of people who died in the Second World War for the Soviet Union, and this list goes all the way down there, and then it comes all the way back up again. The mad thing is about the Second World War is that this many millions of people died, and not just Soviets but for everybody. Millions and millions of people got killed, and it was brutal, and it wasn't even that long ago. It wasn't even 100 years ago. We live in such a changed world now, don't we? And still people find so much to complain about. I think, as morbid as this might be, I think it's a nice almost like a reminder of what we've come through as a species. I think we should be quite frequently reminded how many people fought and died for their respective causes to build the world we live in today. They still shout about it a lot. They're still proud of the people that gave their efforts and stuff. And I like that. I like that about Kazakhstan. And then to finish off this glorious World War II Memorial Avenue, we've got a eternal flame. Wonderful. Other things I've really enjoyed about Kazakhstan, I really like the range of what they've got on offer. That first day in Nur Sultan, I went to that miniatures park and we saw a bit of everything they've got to show off. And in the past few days alone, we managed to go and see something new and grand and progressive in Nur-Sultan, Astana. We've seen something green, mountaineer, natural at that big lake near Almaty, and today we've seen something really old and historically and religiously important. So they've got plenty of different kind of things to dig your teeth into in Kazakhstan. It's really cheap, it's really clean, the people are nice. In fact, no one speaks any English, that might be worth mentioning. Learn some Russian or Kazakh before you come, but even the ones that don't speak any English will still try and communicate through Google Translate. They just want to get to know you, and it's becoming like a recurring theme now, isn't it, where I say, wherever I go, the people are nice. But you know what? It's because they are. I've said it before, I'll say it 1,000 times more. People are still people when you go abroad. It's a ridiculous belief that if you leave the European Union, you're going to get stabbed and kidnapped at every corner. It's absolutely preposterous. But anyway, put that aside, Kazakhstan has nice people as well. Anyway, let me know what you thought to it all. It's quite clear that I enjoyed myself, but I'm keen to hear about how it came across on camera. Let me know which bit was your favourite bit, and more importantly, if it helped change your mind about the country, because this journey has certainly helped to change mine. Tomorrow I'm going to be leaving Kazakhstan. I'm going to be crossing the border into the next country along, Uzbekistan. So next time you hear from me, I'll be tackling yet another overland border crossing, and of course bringing you lot with me for better or for worse. Anyway, it's been a decent few days. Let's see what the next stand's like. Cheers boys, see you in a bit.